to design and construct, so design and make rectangles with a given perimeter. So if I said to you I wanted to find rectangles that had a perimeter of 18. Now if we look at our perimeter formula, we have length plus width plus length plus width, which means we're doing this 2 times. So we could really just say length plus width times 2. So really we need half of our perimeter to be able to figure out our dimensions, our length and our width. So if we take 18 and we divide it in half, so divide it by 2, that's 9. We need 2 numbers that will add to equal 9. So for example, we could have 1 by 8, which when you add it up and you check, does it in fact have that perimeter? Well, 1 plus 8 is 9, 1 plus 8 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18. Yes, it does have a perimeter of 18. So we've got 1 by 9 taken care of. What about 1 by 8 taken care of? What about 2 by something? Well, how about 2 by 7, because 2 plus 7 equals 9, and that one's right here, so let's check. 2 plus 7 is 9, plus 2 plus 7 is 9, which does in fact equal a perimeter of 18. Okay, perimeter of 18. The number that's inside here right now is the area, so you can ignore that one. What about 3 times plus something? Well, 3 plus 6 equals 9. So 3 plus 6 is 9, plus 3 plus 6 is 9 does equal a perimeter of 18. At this point, let's take a look at the last possible one here, 4 by 5, because 4 plus 5 does equal 9, and 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 4 plus 5 is 19, so yes, it does have a perimeter of 18. You'll know you have found all the rectangles for perimeter if you notice this pattern. It's counting up by ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to one number less than half of our perimeter. The real key here is remembering to divide by 2. So you have to remember to make it half of your length and your width to get your, or half of your perimeter to get your length and your width. Now let's take a look at the area of these rectangles. The area of each of these rectangles we can also find out. Remember, area is length times width, so 1 times 8 gives us an area of 8 here. All of these, remember, have the same perimeter. This one here would be 2 by 7, so 2 times 7 gives us 14. Here, remember, it would be 3 times 6. 3 by 6 gives us 18. And here it would be 4 times 5, which gives us 20. What we will always find when we are creating rectangles that have a certain perimeter is that rectangles that are long and skinny have small area. Long and skinny equals small area. Whereas rectangles that are more square or an actual square or most square, because some we can't actually make an actual square, will have the largest area. So watch for that. That's a math generalization that we can make. Now the next step is creating rectangles that have a given area. So in this case we are all looking for rectangles that have an area of 16. So we need, remember our formula for area is length times width. So we need 2 numbers that multiply to equal our area, which is 16. 2 numbers that multiply to equal 16. Well, first we could have 1 times 16, which gives us 16. That's this rectangle here. 1 times 16 is 16. It does have an area of 16. Here we have 2 by something. Well, 2 times 8 equals 16. There is no 3, so with area you aren't always going to be able to count up. You're actually just looking for all of the factors of 16. 4 times something will work. 4 times 4 is 16. Now we have all of the factors of 16. So we have found all of the rectangles that will multiply to equal 16. At this point, let's take a look at the perimeter for each of these. The perimeter for each of these, let's take a look. Well, 1 plus 16 plus 1 plus 16 equals 34. So that's our perimeter for this one. Perimeter for this one, remember, was 2 by 8. So 2 plus 8 plus 2 plus 8, which gives us 20. So our perimeter for this one is 20. Our perimeter for this one, remember, it was 4 by 4. So 4 plus 4 for the two sides, and 4 plus 4 for the other two sides, equaling 16. What you'll find is when you are finding perimeter, the rectangle that is the long skinny will have the largest perimeter, so it's opposite. Whereas the rectangle or square, which will have the least perimeter if it's square-like. Oops. Square-like will have the least perimeter. And again, that's a math generalization you can make. Alright, to practice, we are going to try to make a rectangle that has an area of 24 centimeters squared. So we want area of 24. Remember, area is length times width. So we want something times something that's going to equal 24. Well, we know 1 times something equals 24. 1 times 24. Does 2 times anything equal 24? Well, yes, 2 times 12 equals 24. So both of those work. Does 3 times anything equal 24? Well, yes, 3 times 8 equals 24. 4 times anything? Why, yes, 4 times 6 equals 24. 5 times anything? Well, no. 7 times anything? No. And now we're back to 6. So we now have all of the factors. From our generalization, we know that the largest perimeter is going to be here. We know that the smallest perimeter is going to be here. So our long skinny rectangle gives us a large perimeter and a small area. Our square-like rectangles are going to give us a small area but a large, a small perimeter and a large area. Sorry, I can't erase that for some reason. Now let's take a look. We'd like to create a rectangle that has a perimeter of 12, but we want it with the largest area. So perimeter, again, remember, is length plus width plus length plus width. We only want half of it to get our side measures, because remember, our lengths have to be the same and our width have to be the same. So we want half of 12, which is 6. So we need numbers that are going to add to equal 6. What plus what is going to equal 6? Well, we could have 1 plus 5. We can have 2 plus 3. 2 plus 4. And 3 plus 3. All of those will give us a perimeter of 12. When we're looking for area, we want the largest area. Remember, our most square one is going to give us our largest area. We could also figure out our area knowing that 1 times 5 is 5, so our area for this one would be 5. 2 times 4 is 8, so our area for that one would be 8. And 3 times 3 is 9, so our area for that one would be 9. But we can save ourselves this step by knowing that the rectangles that are more square-like are going to have a large area and a small perimeter, and the rectangles that are more long and skinny are going to give us a small area and a large perimeter. At this point, you are moving on to your concept practice. The first one set has you finding rectangles with a certain perimeter. The second set has you finding rectangles with a certain area. Go ahead. Make sure if you have questions that you ask.